I am Alex and return to the past, before the apocalypse. The first thing to do is to stockpile plenty of food and stay away from bad girls. Just because in my previous life I was kind enough to save her life. But unexpectedly, she ultimately betrayed my kindness. Not only did she lead dozens of strong men, they stormed in and took over my safe haven. And they stole all of my food. I couldn't even escape the danger myself. In the end, they saw me as food and cooked me into bone soup. The girlfriend I pursued showed no remorse. Instead, she said with a proud face, it was I who tricked him into opening the door. You guys have to give me a share of the food. I died with hatred and endless pain. I wondered if there would be another life. I swear I'll pay them back 100-fold. And the next moment I truly was reborn. I looked at my hands in astonishment. Then I quickly took out my mobile phone to check the date on the invitation card. I knew the situation. I am reborn back a month before the apocalypse. And something will happen to the world a month later. When the global temperature will drop to 67 degrees, even all cities will be buried by snowstorms. And I rely on supplies in the supermarket. I was lucky to get it. Maybe. In the end, I was betrayed again by the beautiful girlfriend I pursued. Not only was all the food taken away, even I was killed by them. And turned into their food. I clenched my fists and swore. Those who harmed me in my previous life. I will revenge all of them. But the most important thing now is to stockpile supplies in advance. Otherwise, you'll run into trouble before the apocalypse arrives, and you might not even have a chance to seek revenge. Just as I was thinking about how to store more, there was a blue light appearing. Suddenly it flashed in my mind. Then, my consciousness went to another space. Looking at the unfamiliar space in front of me, my face was full of joy. Now I have this. Another space larger than tens of millions of square meters. It seems like there's no need to worry about where to stockpile food. Now all I need to do is earn enough money to buy supplies. Then I took out the real estate certificate from the drawer. To the lending company. Prepare for a mortgage loan. The lending company saw my house valued at $700,000. Now I'm ready to mortgage it to get $400,000. He immediately took out the contract and wanted me to sign it. After signing and receiving the money, I prepared to leave. But the people at the lending company were all smiling. Then he ordered his subordinate next to him. Quickly, contact other foreign organizations. We can't let this big fool run away. And I looked at the $400,000 on my phone. Inside, I was also very excited. These two are really good people and they're really fools. Now I have money to buy a company. I need to buy a lot of supplies. At this moment, my stomach was really growling uncomfortably. Before reincarnation, I was hungry for a long time. I planned to have a good meal first before buying supplies. After arriving at the 5-star hotel, I booked a luxury room. Food. I used the money to eat everything I had never eaten before. Anyway, the money will be useless after a month. However, this scene. Coincidentally, I was seen by the girl I pursued. Celina and her friend saw me eating a lot of high-end food. Both of them thought I had won a large sum of money. So Celina decided to approach me. She greeted me casually. It's really coincidental, Alex. Why are you here? In the previous life, the woman carved my ribs and made them into soup. I took out a black VIP card. Now, I need to go to the supermarket to buy something. Surely, this trick works well with goldfish. She immediately walked over and expressed her desire to go together. But I smiled. I will make them work without getting anything back. Both of them saw me buying too many snacks. They thought I was going to have a party. So they quickly said, "We've helped you a lot today. Then you have to invite us to dinner." But I refused and said I would invite them to dinner in a month. She also immediately complained in front of me. They left without saying anything, but in their hearts they all fought. I didn't expect him to be so stingy. Celina advised, "Don't worry about that, maybe Alex is just a bit busy." Then I pushed a cart of food back home. The neighbor saw this, and immediately there were many discussions. But I didn't care about it. In my past life, these neighbors used my ribs to make soup. When the apocalypse comes, all of them will wait to die. At this time, an early morning black market aunt wanted to take advantage of me. Her grandson took some of my light food. I saw it and grabbed it back without mercy. Her grandson started crying, and she immediately talked about ethics. I pointed straight at her and said, "If you want to eat, you have to pay." I turned around and left immediately. She saw that, angry, and cursed a lot. After returning home, Celina winked at me. She wanted to come in and sit down. However, I closed it without mercy. I drove away these two gold-digging queens. I stored all these supplies in a space. Then I took out another shopping list, marking food and medicine. The next step was to find someone to build a room that couldn't be destroyed, a safe place that could keep you warm during the Ice Age. Then I went to the company with the best designers. I told them I wanted to build the ultimate safe house. Even on the day of the apocalypse, you can live a very comfortable life. Then a manager came. I gave him the design drawings. After the manager saw my design drawings, he was also shocked and surprised. If the safe room is designed like this, it is simply a solid room, an indestructible fortress. When I heard that the manager actually worked as a mercenary, I immediately became interested. Then I asked him if he had any way to get a gun or something. I became a little wary when I saw the manager. I quickly explained that I only used it for self-defense. The manager saw this and stopped asking. We will build a safe house in half a month. If there is any news about guns during this time, I will inform you. I saw that the issue of the safe house had been resolved. Then I went to the club to get some cold weapons. And bought some trendy things and went home. I saw the truck carrying my goods being stopped. The building security guard stopped it. I quickly walked over and explained to the security guard that everything was mine. Let them all in. Celina saw the scene, even more convinced that I had won a lot of money. Then she stepped out of the crowd. Sent me a loving wink. And I didn't want to care about these things. After all, it would take a while. But I need to take advantage of her. How many people would work for free? Then I went back to Walmart. I want to wholesale a batch of emergency use special medicines. I'm willing to pay double for it. Medicine is extremely important in the apocalypse. He immediately sold me all kinds of special medicines. I put all of them into storage space. Looking at your own space filled with food, I also dreamt of a beautiful future life. At this time, there was a sudden voice outside the door. It turned out to be Celina's mining daughter. She was talking to someone. He wants to invite her to watch a movie. But Celina refused, without hesitation. At this point, Celina saw me passing by. The man also saw me. Pointing at me, he said, Alex, you're a big man with a height of 1.9 meters. You actually asked Celina, a woman, to move furniture. You'd better apologize to Celina right away and take out hundreds of thousands of medical expenses to compensate Celina. Otherwise, today I'll beat you to the hospital. I don't want to care about this. Celina, this woman has a lot of schemes. She even deliberately spreads rumors. She still thinks I'm pursuing her, but Celina doesn't know, I'm not the cowardly Alex from before. In the face of this annoying girl's deception, I approached her with a stern look and then walked away. The bitch immediately felt scared. Celina noticed a slight difference in my demeanor. So she sent me a message that night, asking if something was about to happen. Celina also had a premonition that something was about to happen. A long time passed and I didn't reply to the message. Celina also suddenly felt a bit uncomfortable. Her close friend noticed and quickly came to comfort her. Don't think too much about it. If something really happens, there will surely be news. If we're really as foolish as Alex, sell everything at home and buy all the supplies. Celina finally felt a bit relieved. Time quickly passed to a week later, and the hot weapons I desired finally arrived. Along with that, the safe house she wanted had been built. The windows were bulletproof, fireproof, and the lighting was quite good. The ventilation holes were also made of military-grade materials. It could not only filter out any toxic gases, but also withstand attacks from toxic gases from the outside. Even the heating system in the house was made of top-notch materials. In addition, each building had a surveillance system that allowed me to monitor every floor of the building. I was very satisfied with the safe house. The manager immediately handed me a payment voucher. Please settle the balance within 3 months. After saying that, he turned and left the safe house. After seeing everyone leave, I immediately smirked. Want me to pay? Talk about it if you can survive. At this point, the crates I wanted had also been delivered. People saw me buying a large crate, and I couldn't help but laugh. Just because this city is a coastal city, water is indispensable. Everyone thought I was crazy. Only kind Andrew didn't laugh at me. And he was kind enough to step forward and help me move my stuff. I smiled, a smile I hadn't seen in a long time. Andrew is still as warm as in the past life. Then I slowly approached Andrew's ear. Told him about the impending disaster event. To prepare more food and drinks, Andrew listened with some skepticism. After all, it's hard to believe this. I asked him to reserve more instant noodles and water. Anyway, I didn't mind buying too much of these things. After hearing this, Andrew agreed. At this time, an old man ran up quickly and pulled Grandpa Andrew away. They were afraid Andrew would come into contact with a crazy person like me. I was so strong that I didn't care anymore. Anyway, I've reminded you if possible. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. In the remaining 20 days, just go and enjoy. By the way, exercise and keep your body temperature up. Also, learn basic firearm and archery skills. Time quickly passed, and it was the last 3 days. And the supplies in the Walmart supermarket warehouse. I wanted to secretly take away all the supplies in the warehouse. But without arousing suspicion, Alex pretended to leave for work early, then spiked the tea with sleeping pills and served it to his colleagues. After seeing all my colleagues asleep, Alex boldly entered the warehouse. He then stretched out his hands toward these items and placed them all in a space. After 2 hours, the Walmart supermarket, which was originally full of goods, also turned into an empty warehouse. After doing all of this, Alex returned to the meeting room. Holding a cup of water with sleeping pills, he lay down on the sofa next to it, pretending to have taken the sleeping pills. 1 hour later, a warehouse employee woke him up. After Alex finally woke up, he immediately reported the situation in the warehouse to him. Alex pretended to be more worried than anyone else at this point. At this point, the company's leader called him. The director asked Alex what was going on. However, Alex, without any fear, fabricated a ridiculous story, deceiving him a little. When the end of the world comes in 3 days, nothing will happen. Unexpectedly, the leader not only didn't believe him, but also suspected him. Fortunately, Alex had prepared since early in the morning. There were plenty of supplies in our supermarket. It only took 2 hours for everything to be lost. Director, do you think I could do this alone? Alex suggested we call the police as soon as possible. The manager thought what Alex said was reasonable, so he didn't ask any more questions. Then he hung up and reported. I saw my subordinates looking worried and scared. Alex quickly comforted him. The boss called the police to solve the case. You don't have to be afraid. Under Alex's brainwashing, the subordinates also woke up. Then the police arrived at the scene of the incident. Alex was interrogated. When the police saw Alex being very cooperative, they temporarily took him back. But they didn't let me run wild. Perhaps they still had some doubts. Alex then smiled and said there was no problem. I'm not stupid. If I run away now, isn't that equivalent to admitting guilt? Then Alex walked on the street. I saw the major news agencies reporting on it. Someone had stolen goods from the Walmart supermarket. Then I took out my phone and checked the date. It's hard to admit that. There are only 2 days left now. A snowflake suddenly fell on his phone screen. Waiting for him to look up. Unexpectedly, just a second ago, the sky was still blue. The next second, the snow began to fall heavily. The people around also started talking about it. Why is the weather so cold this year? And it's much colder than in previous years. Amidst the chaos on the streets, only Alex remained calm. Because only he knows best. It will take 2 days for the world to freeze. By then, the Earth will collide with the planet. The consequences spread worldwide, causing sudden temperature changes. Global freezing. Alex sat on the couch after returning home, silently observing. It's snowing heavily outside. He raised the cup of water and took a sip. Then it's clear that what should have come to an end has finally arrived. At this moment, the mobile phone on the table suddenly rang. I randomly stepped forward. Pick up the phone and check the information. It turns out that it's that bitch Celina and those neighbors. I'm very happy to see that it's snowing heavily today. Celina was even more excited in the group.